It's your girl Candy J. Let's mute our phones in the studio, please. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I feel like I have not talked to you all year long. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't talked to y'all all year long. Happy New Year! If you don't know who I am, my name is Candy J. I am a certified clinical psychologist through the Dr. Rachel and the American College of Sexology. I am a marriage bootcamp coach, a Mocha trainer, a proud member of the American Counseling Association, and I specialize in my eyes back into your relationship. And how do I do this, y'all? By helping you foster better communication in your relationships. I do that through one-on-ones. I do couples counseling, through premarital counseling, life after infidelity. That's something I specialize in. Dating after this, which tonight's show happens to be talking about dating an entrepreneur, where I have a very, very special guest. Now listen. If you don't regularly follow, then you would not know who this person is to me in my life. However, it's a BFF takeover because the one and only Mr. LA from No I'm Right, CEO of MMTG, Making Moves Thanking God, is in the building, and we're talking about what? Dating an entrepreneur. Hi, LA.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and let's go ahead and get our plugs on out the way, sir. CEO of MMTG. Can you tell them where to find you?
CEO didn't even have to.
Oh, she does. No, ain't.
That's for blood.
That's the wrong one. How can they find you on social media, sir?
Oh. Same thing. And if you want to follow me personally, I always hygiene. Show that came to be. Man, you came to see. The HNIC. That's me.
Oh.
And that is going to be on LA Runs Dallas. All
right. Thank you so much for that, CEO of MMT. Okay, so listen. Yeah, that's kind of how we're right. So tell me a little bit about how the brand came to be.
So, owning skills for my own personal gain, I figured I would share these talents with all. I decided to get each lead, and here we are. I am also proud that I am with you, Black owned.
Oh man, if y'all have not seen. First of all, I think I have to say the drip is my second, because the Fly Girl shoes are all about animal print, and that's just my heart. That's just be still my heart. I can't wait to have my own. I'm just waiting on my paycheck. From that kind of thing. So
yeah, as it says, you work for free. MMTG.
Yeah. So in that, before I go to the real entrepreneur side of things, like when did you kind of figure out that fashion was big?
I evaluation that it just came in my mind. Have a great hey, like me, it's all about an honest hustle. Not getting that mighty thing.
Do you think there was an age? Yeah, I know.
You know, it's kind of hard to see out the out of and so forth. I can't say that I was able to until I actually start walking, talking pretty early on. Guys, they knew what to do. Happen from there. It's funny because that I given Stockland, um, she not financial status. I time they have you tell you matching was not with my son. So it wasn't until I got myself to middle school, to which I started realizing the young girls had opinions, and they was gonna voice those opinions should you come out the house looking like anything. And so I tell everybody the same thing. I said, young men do not realize how hygiene is.
Mm. Mm.
And the moment you get that life changing event, you're good to go from there. 2 to 3 showers a day, because you don't want to be called out as the stanky boy.
Mm.
So I would just say in middle school, first got my. So I think that started. I think it was being held back from, not purposely, single parent mom, but being held back from joining the ranks of other fashionable kids made it furthered my spirit to make me
Okay. But have to all the fashionable things out. You know, see his whole outfit. Stay tuned. But if you can see the whole outfit, blah, definitely. And so, you know, being the BFF, Lord Jesus, Father, I've seen the abundance of clothing. Yes, Jesus. And half the time, he's going to put something on every staple of these down all the way down to the shoes. Okay, all the way down. Um, and so with that, I know that you create everything that here and now have everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. So, what does that mean for your dating? How has that affected you?
Well, any entrepreneur out there watching that, in order to be successful as the being parent, that it comes with sacrifice, and a lot of the things that are fine with 9 to 5 time, regular part time, menial tasks. Those people will not understand the grit, the determination, plus that it takes to have a business that you into wholeheartedly, 100%. Not only that, succeed and maintain succeeding in it on a basis. It takes a lot. Not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who get a quick cash grab. It's not for those who not look at the term of things. You are going to parent in it for life. Gotta do your due diligence, make sure that your child or children can look to you as a parent. It's a never ending job. And I don't mean, I'm loosely basing that entrepreneurship life to parenting, but it's along the same line. Not going to put your all in. Don't put your side hustle, a hobby. People like me, it is and lifestyle that has to be dating.
If any of you guys dating shenanigans happen to happen, so what is your biggest pet peeve dating?
Say biggest pet, it's being told that my grandfather, he Anderson, a stout gentleman, a trailblazer, if you will, opened up his own daycare center in 19 something. When he was married to Betty Jo Anderson and gifted my grandmother that daycare. Blend of two names, Betty and Leonard, Betty Lynn, Early Childhood Learning Center. So when he gifted that daycare to my grandmother, that did not come without day-to-day tasks. As a matter of fact, because it was a daycare, that was my grandparents' life. Pretty much, sun up. I don't even know where they had time to be parents of just their own children, let alone being the parents of all the children. So I would just say that, and being busy, they would act for something tangibly take and respect. And if an entrepreneur is busy, that means something. They ain't busy. Either busyness.
So you stated that you hate when being told that you're busy, right?
Yeah.
And so so
sorry. I don't know why the speaker on. I'm trying to get to share with you all the live. The speaker part is on when you scroll live. Yeah, that's a good idea. So sorry.
So, but no, it's fine. But so you get that, right? And yeah. we have these. We're super close guys, so we have all these crazy discussions about that very thing. So when I start talking to somebody, they usually ask me what I do, whatever. And so, we have Candyology, we have Bedroom Candy, I am the social media person for CamWY Media, where the podcast is on. And I do a lot of other things too. But then MMTG is full blown assisting what he needs for the company as well, right? And so when they hear all of these things, plus I have a 6-year-old son about to be 7. Hey, Colin. About to be 7. And they hear all of this and they're like, well, when are you going to fit me in? When do I have time, right? And so I kind of break it down to them like, okay, so here's the thing. Monday through Thursday, I have my son. So, we can do a lunch date if possible. I have to eat, right? So we can do a lunch date. Until I'm comfortable with you, I'm not gonna take you around my kids. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be that kid day, right? So if I'm not doing a party, I have to eat, right? So there's brunch, there's dinner, right? So, and they're like, well, it doesn't sound like you're going to be able to fit me in unless it's a meal. Sometimes. Sometimes this is very true. And at other times, there's like days like today where, I got up, I was supposed to do a few things with the bestie, and we winded up not doing it. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to lay back down. I laid back down in that bed. So guess what? That means my morning and my afternoon was free and clear that we could have gone on some sort of date, right? Oh, but I don't have time.
No, you don't have time. You don't circle your life around making available time for out. Because hell, so that make, and I feel like people are looking to make find something body positive. We are more apt to share failure, fail, all kinds of messy things that didn't quite go right, missing the mark on. That seems to be society's interest. But to see somebody making, find a way to enhance life, bring folks together. I feel that I feel that I feel that people find a way to say, well, and I, what, I honestly, the more I think about it, I think it may be envy. I think a lot of people is envious of how to take a. Because I'll admit, before I was an entrepreneur, I didn't understand what running your own business is like. I thought about people I knew from school that had restaurants or hair salons, and I'm just thinking like, how do y'all have it like loaded, like bought a building or rent out a building? All you're able to do this and that, and it didn't even have to do with that. It just had to want to get so bad, get what they had to do happen. And it wasn't until I did it I figured out that it's not about what you have to start it. It's about what you have to buy, make it manifest. And I think people are envious of it. They're jealous, and they don't know how to react to somebody that's out there trying to earn a living for themselves, trying to actually leave their implant in the world before leaving. And they don't get it. They don't understand it. And you know how people do when they don't understand or they fear something? They draw. That's their loss. Yeah.
And talk about it in a negative way.
Of course.
And it's not okay. No. Because I feel like you said, blood, sweat, and tears, you have no idea if you are not an entrepreneur. I guarantee that have you ever seen that picture of the guy that, what's the name of the guy that started Amazon?
Bezos.
And he's sitting in this little box of a room, and it's just one little desk, and I think he had a computer or something. But that's how Amazon started, right? And we got to start somewhere from the ground up, right?
Be mad now. This garage making shoes.
Hello. And so all of the things that go into that, I'm just yes, you definitely have to get in where you fit in. But if we like you, then we're going to make time for you. You're going to be able to get to know. I have actually sat up and talked to people. Now, mind you, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
If I don't fall asleep, you know what time you talk to me or not, sir. But if I stay up past 9:30, 10 o'clock to talk to you, then that means that I'm feeling you. I'm trying to get to know you, right?
Mhm.
And so I've been told that, oh, that don't even count. Okay, trying to get to how do we get to know, you know? So what pitfalls do you think besides that you encounter dating?
Yeah. I don't even think I think being even though that's the theme of the show and
Mhm.
all of that, it's way more wrong. But I think you shoot yourself in the foot by trying to have the unmitigated of you to try to have your business. Have a name of something that you made up, that you developed and created. How dare you do that and then try to have somebody in life with you? Shame. You know that nuns don't have nobody in their life. You know that pastors and priests ain't supposed to be married. They live a life of loneliness because they have chosen to lead us all around the right path. So the same should go for you entrepreneurs. Be by yourself, leave everybody else alone, give us what we want.
Right.
Haters, all y'all haters.
Because think about it, as much as we have single people, right, we also have married people, powerhouses are both entrepreneurs as well. I think, and the first ones that come to mind, I know, but the first people that come to mind is Jay-Z, right? They both run these powerhouse companies and
Yeah.
these music careers and these lives, but yet they still spend time together, still have those things that they do together that makes them that powerhouse couple.
And it's even a bigger feat they're accomplishing. They are entrepreneurs in the entertainment industry.
Absolutely.
Entertainment is fickle. So 1 minute you're hot. So for them to have staying power the way they do, keep themselves credible, and spin off and have the business record, uh, restaurant chains, clothing lines themselves, that's huge. And I think that that's a testament to them that when it comes to being self-made people, um, I think you got to have a tandem. I'm starting to think that more and more there's not a way where entrepreneurs not have somebody they can date that's not in some form of fashion involved. And I feel like in some realm you have to. I feel like it's no different than a parent who is a single parent and they have children. What do you always get told? It's a package deal. So is being an entrepreneur. I feel like you don't have to necessarily get in my business, but there has to be something to add to it, whether it be setting me a schedule up for doing this, that, and the other. Finding a way to uh, bring me new, fresh ideas or asking other people about what they're looking for in fashion or promoting. You can always promote somebody's. There's never a way you cannot not promote. Just like I use the double negative of it's just no way. So you can do that, and dating an entrepreneur is actually because yeah, you go out with somebody who work 9 to 5, work all. He like to go home, play Call of Duty and Fortnite. He always smelling like flaming hot Cheetos and Frankie beans. And guess what? He's always available to go to 2 for $20 at TGI Fridays or Chili. Now, if that's your speed, that's what you like, go right ahead. But an entrepreneur is able to say, let's go to True, let's go to Perry Steakhouse. Let's go to XOXO on a Tuesday night when ain't nothing popping, no specials, no deals. You know, take trips places where you stay 7 days, not the weekend. Fly airlines that are not Spirit. You know, that's how entrepreneurs do. Where they go places where IDs come in folded. They're called passports. That's what entrepreneurs is about. And then even having a business, everything that you spend money on is the you write it off.
Right.
And it'll right back to you at the end of y'all ain't today. That's all right. Don't date you, Johnny, who just got a promotion at Walgreens Pharmacy.
Oh my Lord. Now listen. Now, entrepreneur is not for the entrepreneurship is not for. And so, if it was meant for everybody on earth, to be an entrepreneur, everybody would have a street. But every company has to have some sort of right. So I don't knock anybody that works a 9 to 5. Hey, we've done it. We've all done it. And if something happens to any of our businesses, God forbid, we do it again, right? So just be mindful of what you say to an entrepreneur. And I'm not talking about you.
No. I'm following. Yeah.
So here's my thing. Let me ask this. Do you ever get told how's your
it's funny. It's actually a little different for me. As a clothing line entrepreneur, you get words like not necessarily little business. I remember myself and a former co-host of So I'm Right. I always got a jab at him. I always got a jab. Me and Nathan were out somewhere. I think we're at one pop-up shop. And my clothing gets grabs a lot of attention. Not what people take. Pretty accessible here. Manufacturing tools to come out with apparel. So being that is elementary in nature, it's the creativity that sets you apart. So when people see my clothing, they are awed by it. It doesn't look like what you would expect with the primitive tools and equipment that you have making them. So I recall a lady walked by. She remembered me previous pop-up, and she was so enamored with clothing, she made sure to call a friend of hers. I guess she had purchased. She got on the friend. It was a friend, and she was, hey, yeah, I'm here now. Yeah, talking to the t-shirt guys. And so anybody that knows you're a clothing brand, you don't want to be staple as selling on item and item being primitive nature that what you. So when Nathan heard it, looked at me, smiled, talked to me. Hey, t-shirt guy, right? Like that? And I said, yeah, I don't like that at all. I don't like any of that. So it's not necessarily you called your little business, but it is, like you said about being mindful. It doesn't matter if somebody paper handles. It doesn't matter what they time in week for them. And so therefore you go and buy just shirts, just candles, and all that from other big businesses. You go to Walmart and buy a pack of Hanes, $12 all the time. You stand outside at Bath and Body Works at 6 in the morning
sales. Woo!
to try to get candles that probably cost $1.50. You'll stand in line and pay $13 for it, and not counting the time you waited. So all I'm saying is that those businesses out there getting the same type of haters. You'll never be anything now selling candles, body fragrance. Mr. Bath and Body Works. Where is it? So, as I said, entrepreneurs are everything. Hey, next, you have a car, body, toothpaste, and brush. That's
And if you're not an trying to talk to, know that you also have to be their sounding board too sometimes, to talk about their business. If as an entrepreneur, if I can't talk to you about what's happening in my business now, mine is a little different because I can't go telling people's business, right? Because I counsel. But I can tell you situations that frustrated me in the conversation with them, or whatever. So I guess my question would be to you is, actually a couple of talked about. I wanted to bring the show. Talked about communication, and this is just in dating. And we were having this conversation about being the last person to speak, right? And can you kind of expound on what that conversation was? Very interesting conversation.
Yeah, we run into things a lot about. I feel like people are looking to always be
Right?
You're not gonna pass out, is always okay. Cool. Okay. Just took a quick intermission.
Right. If you're just tuning in, we are talking with LA on Candyology, Love, Sex, and Relationships, talking about dating and entrepreneurship. And we're talking about expounding on that communication during this dating process.
Right.
Okay.
When it comes to communication, I think that everybody is in the. I think that we in society are always trying to. It's like we look for the. We're not optimistic about anything, and I say that because when it comes to communicating, I recall as a youth that I didn't care if the young lady I was interested in called me last, I called her last. We called each other at the same time, and the phone got busy, and we had to realize we was calling each other at the same time, and then finally somebody got through, and I've been calling you. That's funny. I didn't care. If I was interested in somebody, hey girl, what you doing? It's simple. And I think we've gotten so accustomed now with wanting to put the onus of something surviving in the other person's lap, take away effort. If you contact somebody and they say they'll, okay, they said they'll, cool. If they hadn't called you back by the end of the day, next day, you call them back. They didn't call you back. Okay, call them back the next day. Hey, you didn't call me back yesterday. Check on you. Keep it moving. Don't make it a big deal when it's like that. If it's a if it's a, they make it a pattern of not calling you back, and then you realize it's been 2-3 days that y'all hadn't talked, and the last time that y'all did, they were going to call you back, and then you remember there were some other instances that happened too. Call them, explain it, be neutral about it, let them know it's a concern. Don't scold them about it, and then see if it changes. If it doesn't change at that point, then you set some standards, like you set some expectations. Hey, if you're not going to be able to follow up with me the way I follow up with you, then I don't know how this going to work. Communication is big with me, and if you're not going to follow up, I feel like you're not interested, and that's just how I'm going to feel. Right or wrong, that's my feeling. If I feel a person's not interested, I make my leave, and that's that simple. But I feel like when it's an ongoing back and forth exchange, us being once you pass that whole first, I got your number, who gonna call who first? We exchange numbers together. Who's supposed to call? And then you make the call, and okay, we talk for a minute. Okay, I call you back, or let me hit you right back. I call you back, you call me back. I call you back, you call me back, etc. And after all, once it gets going, that don't. If you know that you are sitting there wanting to talk to somebody, and you were electing not to talk to that somebody because that somebody said they was gonna call you back, you petty. If something happened to that person, God forbid, and you don't get to talk to them no more, last time you talked to them, they said they was gonna call you back and they didn't. You can lie to everybody else like, oh, I was wondering why they didn't call me back. Something that happened to them. Oh my God. No, that ain't what happened. Your petty ass was sitting right there on your dirty syrup stained couch with your dirty clothes in the living room that you still ain't watched yet, with your show on pause for 3 days because you don't know how to turn the TV off, watching that person not call you back. Your petty bitty ass waiting on the call. That's on you. I feel that once communication ties, according to you, call that man, call that lady, establish that rapport, and keep it going.
So, in this conversation, telling you one of the reasons I've pulled, that calling still called me is because in that portion, I've gotten called aggressive. I'm the call you. Hey, what you doing? I'm sitting here working. I just wanted to hear your voice for a minute. What you got going on? Type chick, right?
Mhm.
And, and so
I don't think I remember aggressive. I don't think I remember. I think to some effect, I said that any gentleman, I'll use that term loosely, that is out here calling women who know what the hell they want, how they want, shame to show, using the word aggressive. Woman is assertive. The only thing aggressive is going probably your body.
oh, Father.
Because any woman who can assert herself and not be ashamed by showing her interest in me as, and if you have somebody that's asserting themselves trying to talk to you and you ain't reciprocating, you need to be aggressive.
So, so what do you? Okay, we talked about your biggest pet peeve in dating an entrepreneur. But what do you think your biggest pet peeve general? Yes,
Sure. As I said, we'll have no time in the show. Because if you've watched No, I'm Right, we use every bit of that hour talking about that buffoonery called dating.
Come on. Tell me what.
The biggest pet peeve about the whole dating size for the woes of dating. That's it. Women. Men suck at dating. Dating sucks because men suck. Men. Women suck. Dating suck because women suck. The sad part is both y'all asses is wrong and both y'all asses is right.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole point is and I said this, I miss dating and falling in love being a elementary type of. We've made falling in love into the hardest calculus problem that we have ever had in life. I remember back in middle school, grade school, hell, even high school, saw that person across caught your eye, tingly feelings erupt, shoot you a smile, you shoot right on. That person is in agreement with the level of sparks that's flying betwixt the two right now. And I remember that you used to see that person after, or you'd hold back a little bit, make sure that you caught up with them after class when the bell rang, walked them in the hallway, swapped a funny little story or joke or two, introduced yourself, talked a little bit, said let's meet up for lunch, went to lunch table, sat down and talked to each other, met after class, changed phone numbers. By the time that y'all shared an hour or two phone conversation on the phone, lulling your little phone around with the cord and all. Yeah, we dating ourselves. Walking around here with the cord and the phone. And you ask that young lady, and then you would take the time out to get to know each other. Likes, dislikes, favorite food, colors, and the whole nine. When you ask your parents, can you go see that movie that weekend at the same time that that man or that lady was? And that's how you. Now, totally backwards. True. You don't go with nobody first and then get to know them later. That's absurd. Gotcha. Guess what? What we doing now? I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know. I don't understand how to date now. I don't understand it. Things that are red flags are just idiosyncrasies. Women is bored, so they swiping right because they are bored. Men is approaching women. Okay, men are still approaching women for sex. You know, newsflash there. And the whole time they're talking bad about each other and still sleeping with you. How do you sleep with somebody you don't like? Oh, you don't like what they stand for, but they impregnated you. But it's his fault that you pregnant with his kid. And he didn't want to be around, but he didn't even want to date you and be around. But you was insistent that he still come around to open the legs up so he can impregnate you. And then you confused why he don't want to be around. He didn't want to be in a relationship. He just wanted to be in you for a minute. And you proud and most babies. Just saying.
So that sounds like you covered a broad scope of things, sir. Do we have any narration down
Not really, because I mean, at the end of the day, I believe, I'm still siding on side that I think that tide has changed with, because the saying used to be that women were these nice people that were just treated wrongly, and men were just getting worse and worse in how they treated women. We done flipped it. These women is out here being so cold and acting like men in more ways than one. Hell, even will trans themselves into one. And I feel that guys out here are getting raw deep now. I think guys nowadays have leveled themselves off to that gray area. Men, I feel like it men now, men that ain't shit and they fine with it. Be good. That gray area gone. It's they one or the other now. But women, the whole damn spreadsheet gray. You don't know what you get. Absolutely. 1 minute, they like, I just good man come. I want is one. But the good dude, not you. I just he say, hey, fine, I'm not a hoe. Okay. And now he on child support. He don't like you. Cause he ain't never liked you. And now you want him to come back because he's a good guy. But he don't like you no more. Cause you ain't shit now. Cause you done let a hoe come in. All great. All y'all. Great.
What about the same?
I just has even themselves out with great. It's either he ain't shit or he about his shit. Y'all just gotta take your time to find out where they at.
There are ones that are in.
I ain't seen no middle one.
Because just like there's gray with us, there's gray with y'all.
There are sprinkles of gray.
Sprinkles?
Yes.
Sprinkles.
Y'all are entirely. There's a whole sheet of gray construction.
Housewife. Because I don't see any between men and the women that are both in gray areas. Things they don't know what they want either. They can't make up their minds. What if you want to still be a hoe in these streets, or you want to be a good man for this woman?
I would rather deal with somebody who know how to make their mind up than somebody who lie about making their mind up and they ain't made up shit but lie.
Same thing with men.
No, men. You just said it. Men don't know how to make their mind up. Okay. They confused. They don't really know what they want. 1 minute is this, woman. Got you. Women will flat out lie about what they say they want. Then they get what they want and they realize they don't want it. Then the only ones that I know that'll sit up here and blame men for everything that they got screwed up with themselves. You don't see no men running around here talking about, oh, I'm a hoe because a woman that treated me wrong, she treated me bad, so now I'm gonna hold the rest of my. We own that hoe. If we a hoe, we own it. Put a mister in front of it.
Okay.
But y'all is hoes in secrecy.
And I think men and women do some of the same thing. So I'm not calling out anybody on this what I'm about to say. Right? Both men and women do, right? So for instance, I have a friend of mine. She met this person. She told him what she wanted. Right? She ain't know. She told him what she wanted, right? And she said, okay, these are my wants, these are my needs, are you able to fill, these things, da, 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 da. What about you? Asking all these questions, right? And so he told her, well, I can definitely do A, B, C, D, F, and G, right? I can't do, D, Y, and X, but I can do all of these, right? So when it came time for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I didn't know you. Words out of my mouth said, I need A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And you said you could do these things. Well, I didn't think he was. I think both men. And I know you encountered this. Yes.
I think that a woman is always trying to give A, B, C, D shit. When, how about you just figure out what every woman starts out with trying to tell you what they need. And that's the problem. We don't need to jump into things automatically. Hi, my name is Sharon. Here's your list. What?
No.
Sharon, I don't know. What? Hi, Sharon. How are you? And then you can see if that man, because guess what? Sometimes our
Right.
sometimes what was at the top, sometimes it's at the so to come with the whole thing, I would say that there's some basics that are necessary in a successful solidarity of no wrong word. There's some things that are required as basic for unifying people. Agree. There are some things that have to be. Then there's a second list of preference. Things that I often enjoy that are a part of relationships I'm in. And those should be talked about. But I feel like and what my pet peeve is, and I think I've zoned in on it. I apologize to you earlier, not me. My pet about it, everybody's statement. Let me come. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, because I hate here. I'm not. The problem I have, the reason why I have a problem with it, because people make mountains out of and in tune walk away from something they don't know what was because they are in fear. They know what they go do with that valuable time they got back. They go take their raggedy ass to the gas station to get some new lashes. They go take their retarded self over there to Ching Ling instead of going to see, Deborah who opened up her black owned business nail shop to go do that. She would rather go stuff her face at the happy hour of some restaurant or get a bunch of drinks and all this other stuff. She would rather go sit on the couch and binge watch some shows, or she would rather call Candy to pick up a so she can please herself. That's what she did. Do you know as kids still suffering? There's still world. There's still those things that happen in your you can do. There are several things that you can use with your time that you're so scared to waste. And you do nothing. but
All
yet
of those
you
things sound like
so
self-care.
you so
Sir.
scared. What's self care?
Some people, you said it's about lashes.
Do you make pretty? You make yourself pretty every day?
Lashes,
Okay.
nails.
Okay. That's vanity. One can say that's vanity.
Nails.
One can say that's vanity.
Going to get it
because putting lotion on is self care.
Right.
So one can say, and lashes, you were born with lashes. So putting fake ones on, how is that self care? That sounds like it's something that has to do with vanity.
So, I mean, we don't want to go dive into what people's preferences are.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying.
Because
so it's not really wasting
to
time.
Waste your time, right? Someone could say waste your time, but pressing on stuff on your clothes to make yourself
I run a business,
good.
so I'm not preferencing anything. That's me making money. So and that's having a legacy that I'm leaving behind, and I'm growing a business where I don't have to work for someone else. Me going to get Lee press on nails or putting on fake lashes isn't enhancing my life whatsoever.
What if
okay,
and so the
right. So yeah, exactly. So
right.
what does that have to do?
The point
with,
is, hold
yeah,
on.
okay.
The point is, listed all these things that are time that is what they went to go instead of having their time wasted, right? But let's bring this back in though. Pure wasting of a time is someone never really wanted to be with that person in the first place, and you just, this is a filler until the next one comes up. That's pure. To me, that's pure, right? But just sitting around trying to get to know somebody is not a waste of time. And even if it doesn't work out, I still don't feel like it's a waste of time.
It's not.
Because I learned something about myself in this process, right? I learned either what I did want or I don't want, or I grew in some form, shape, or fashion because of the challenges that I might have faced or the good things that you might have brought to me, but we just weren't compatible and didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just bringing that back in, circling around, that I agree with you. I hate the phrase waste time, but don't knock people because when they went to do something else, it was their nails.
Well, I say that into but I'm using the same ridiculous spectrum because for you to say that somebody didn't agree with because I can't tell you how many women, I don't know if men do, but because I don't date men. So, but whenever you have a disagreement about a generic topic, female, she gets in her feelings about it, then she decides that all of a sudden we're not compatible because we have different views, and she don't want to waste her time, so she does things like sit around and eat snacks and shit like that and all of that, and those essentially are wasting time things. None of us truly value our day-to-day time that we have. So don't make it seem like because somebody had a difficult conversation with you and they didn't agree with you, then all of a sudden y'all are not compatible. No, it just means that maybe he found some loopholes in your dumbass argument that he didn't want to be a yes man to, so he can get in your drawers. Oh, but remember, you're the same girl that wanted to do good guy like because you want to know what you didn't want to be a hoe. So go waste your time on.
So, we're gonna have to have you back on the show. We could have talked. Excuse me.
Yeah. I heard you. Gotcha.
There's plenty more that you know what? See what your best friend does to you. But there's plenty more that we could have talked about, and I'm sure that the L will come back anytime I want him. So that we can finish the conversation. In fact, I think it would be great if we had Nathan come back and Amber come back and do a Candyology No I'm Right show. That would be dope, actually. So, listen, if you have not heard about my 30-day Spice Up Your Sexy Challenge for couples, please go out there and watch that video. It starts February 1st. It is $65. You get passion and peak spray. And you get 30 days of challenges to spice up that bedroom. And here's the thing, not all of my challenges have to do specifically with the bedroom. They have to do with creating a safe space for those conversations to happen, dealing with some of those things that trigger that you are not having that intimacy. So there are so many things. If you have not gone out there and looked at residential in the bedroom, that's another. Of course, I still do bedroom candy parties. So if you haven't booked your Valentine's Day party with, go ahead. We're having a Back to Love pop-up shop from February 5th. Come get your toys, get your love potions, get your fashion, whatever that you desire for that significant other. What else is happening? Oh my God, we have so many on the, but I'll definitely drop them underneath my show. So thank you so much for watching tonight. Again, you can get to LA by going to at MMTG Clothing on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, you can always reach me through Candyology CS on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. And have a wonderful Sunday and wishing you days and orgasmic night. Have a good